And we're live, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Slope Goals. Today we have myself, Goose.
Hey, what's going on, man? Back at it.
And Bear. So today we're going to be talking about, a little known league to the rest of the world. Not really heard of as much, but we do enjoy watching this league, and it's the Mexican league, or how it's more formally known, the Liga MX. Liga MX has the format is a little different compared to the rest of the world. So today we hope to explain a little bit about the league and kind of clear things up for those of you who have either never watched the league or have tried to watch the league and find it to be a little bit too confusing because it just follows a completely different format compared to the other leagues. So we're just gonna answer a few questions and kind of clear things up. So first, I guess, what is the Liga MX? I think we've already answered that. It's the first division of soccer in Mexico, professional league in Mexico, so top division in Mexico. And yeah, completely different format compared to the rest of the world. So in Spain or in England or in France, you have a season that is played throughout the whole year, and whoever finishes first place is crowned champion. Whereas in Mexico and in the Liga MX, it's completely different. It can be confusing. It can be a little confusing, but the seasons in Mexico are kind of split into two. You have the Apertura and the Clausura. So what would be considered a one full season in Spain or in England, it's split up into two tournaments in Mexico. So Bear, you want to kind of explain how that works a little bit?
So it's two seasons in 1 year. You have your 17 games regular, and then you have your playoffs. It's called Liguilla, and basically you play the playoffs. 1 against 8, 2 versus 7, 3 against 6, and 4 against 5, and then it goes into semifinals and the final. And the champion is declared after the playoffs. It's won basically. That's pretty much sums it up. Make it easy, quick and easy.
So yeah, like Bear said, the tournament, the season is split up into tournaments, and they have their playoffs, and a little bit more about that. The teams who finish top 8, all have a chance of becoming champion, basically, because after the 17 games and once you enter playoffs, it's kind of like a small tournament competition where first place faces off against 8th place team, 2nd place team versus 7th place, and so on until they crown their champion. And the final is also, I believe, 2 legs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2 legs, away in the home.
So yeah, the finals played in the respective teams' home stadium. So it definitely does set the stage up for some very interesting finals. And over the past couple of years, we have seen some very interesting finals. One that stands out most recently to me, well, not that recent, but that was very dramatic ending. I think Cruz Azul versus America with
I'm leaving, bro.
the America. You have the America goalkeeper scoring the winning goal for the title over 2 legs. So I thought that was a very dramatic finish, and it's not something that you see very often in top leagues. So like Wu said before, it's definitely very very interesting league, and it's very fun to watch, and the fans are always very passionate about it, so it's always fun.
Definitely. And it's just like, if you're very into a league that's if you get bored easily, like a league that's the top teams is always gonna win, then I think it's a league that should be watched. And pick a team, and you're gonna find some interesting results at the end of the day, at the end of the league. And yeah, they're always like he says, most of the time is a different finalist. Different. There's always two teams at the end that you sometimes don't even expect it. That's what makes it very good.
For sure, and first place team is not always the best, and there's been plenty of times where the first place team goes the whole season, winning games, being dominant, but once playoffs come around, that kind of goes out the window, and eighth place teams have been known to defeat this first place team. So,
well, that's one thing about the league, though. They, first place, I think only like 2 or 3 times. First place has won everything, including the playoffs. But other than that, it's always some team that at the end of the season they turn it up. They get their shit together, and they win it. I personally don't think it's fair though. I think it should go to first place, but it's a format. You know the rules, so
gotta stay on your toes up until the end.
I mean, if it was like that, like the format, I still would have been champion a good 6-7 times.
Before, like you said, you know the rules.
I mean, yeah, you know the rules, but
if that was the case, then it'd be like America also, our nemesis is America. Tigres first place always.
Tigres is not first. No, Tigres is not always first place. Tuca has learned how to adapt to the league, how to play the league, because he knows that you don't need to be the best one throughout the season. You just need to get to playoffs. Make sure your players are in shape, are in form, and after that he wins it. I think he's been champ with like 4 or 5 times with Tigres, and
he's definitely one of those teams that going into the end of the season, they turn up. Tigres turns up, and they end up shocking everybody. It's just like, well, there you go. You should have known. Like Tuca doing his thing.
Yeah, he just knows how to play the league. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Yep. How is it different compared to other leagues? Goose, you wanna answer that one?
It's a very interesting league. I myself follow it. Chivista fan. And then as you guys have your own teams, so Eddie, you're a Chivista fan too. But it's different because you never know in actuality who's gonna win. Because we have obviously the top 4, top 6 teams that are supposed to be the biggest teams in Mexico, but they can have a game where they're playing like a little team, bottom of the table team, and they can actually lose. And it's just, I think, me personally think it's a very competitive league because of that. Because you watch the game thinking your team is gonna win, being the popular team, and ends up losing. And sometimes we could be, not having such a great season, and we go and beat the first team that's the top of the league right at that moment. So it's a very interesting league. It's very you can put money on the games, and you just never know who's gonna win. And for that, I think it's a very interesting league, and that's why for so many years I followed it. Passed on from my my father and my grandfather, I guess. They also watched it, and us being Mexican Americans, we tend to follow it. It's I think what makes it interesting is just that,
And I think actually just to add really quickly on that, I think one of the main reasons why you never know who's really going to win, or why it's just kind of a different champion every season, is just because of the format that it follows. And I talked about it a little earlier. Well, today's going to be a short video, so we just kind of wanted to explain a little bit more about Liga MX. I think we'll probably be talking a little bit more about the Mexican League in future videos, and we'll talk here and there about other leagues. But yeah, I think that's going to be all for today, and we'll definitely have some more content for you guys soon. So see y'all next time.
Later, man.